What's up, guys? My name's Eric and you're watching Savage Garden. Today we're going to go over how to start your home garden using 5-gallon buckets. Check it out. Today's video is going to really go over how to take these regular 5-gallon food grade buckets. I get mine from Lowe's. And you can tell they're food grade because they'll have the triangle. If you can see that, let's focus. Well, there's a triangle on the bottom that says HDPE, and it's just a little triangle with a 2, and that's how you know that this is food grade. I get mine from Lowe's. So we're gonna go over how to plant your vegetable garden using these buckets. I think that first I want to start off by talking about why using 5-gallon containers or buckets are a great option for people with, probably not a lot of time, not a lot of land, or, very inexperienced when it comes to growing. Maybe this is your first garden. This is a healthy option because these buckets run about $4 or $5 each. And just make sure you get the food grade ones. You don't want to get the buckets that were used with paint or any kind of solvents or anything like that, because that stuff will leak into your food, and I hate to say it, but you kind of be poisoning yourself. So avoid those kind of buckets. Make sure you stick to the food grade ones. If you're on a budget, you can even get food grade buckets maybe from your local pastry shop or something like that, where maybe they had icing in those buckets. I haven't done it yet, but I've heard that that's a good option. Also, if you have less space, maybe a 5-gallon bucket is too much for you. Say you grow in an herbal garden, maybe the bucket size you need is maybe 2.5 gallons. There's a lot of different options, and if you're growing something even bigger, 50-gallon bucket, 25, I don't know. There's the options for everybody. But buckets are a good option for people who are just getting started, maybe don't want to dig up their land, maybe don't have much land to dig up, and don't want to use, like regular clay pots that, after the plant's dead, they got to figure out what they're going to do with that. These little buckets will store very easily, as long as you keep them out of this direct sun. After you're not using them, you can use them for years to come. So that's one of the reasons why having the 50-gallon bucket is a great option for first-time growers and veteran growers like myself. But the first thing you got to really think about doing when you get these buckets is you got to think of drainage. So what I plan on growing in some of these buckets this year is going to be tomatoes, and they really need a lot of good drainage. So I'm going to go over how to prep your buckets for your first garden or your first grow. So what I normally do is I take this wood bit. This is a 3/4 inch wood bit. This is just a regular drill. You can use whichever one you want. I set it for one of the most powerful settings for mine. If you have a better drill than I do, then maybe you don't need to set it so high. And I run my drill in reverse and pulsate to drill out holes. So this is the patterns I use for the, man, that really darked me out. That just really changed the color. Okay, so the pattern I use, I just normally drill 6 holes. These are 3/4 inch holes using the wood bit for 3/4 inch or 3/4 inch. So normally it just comes like that. I'm gonna see if I can do it like this so I can show you about the pulsating I was talking about earlier, because you don't want to put this going forward, because there'll be too much torque, and what you'll do is you'll end up ripping the bottom of this container, and it's no good after that, or cracking it. So pulsating, what I mean is you're gonna just, if you can hear that, I'm just gonna run it just a little bit at a time. So let me show you what that looks like. Just gonna pick a spot and And just like that, you can see there's no cracks, nothing. That's a clean, nice hole. Fairly easy to do. You can knock out 6-7 buckets really fast. I'm gonna knock out the full pattern on this. And don't time me, because if this takes me too long, I might fast forward. But like I said earlier, I'm running this in reverse just so it does not split my bucket. That took a lot of trial and error to find out that that was the best way of doing this. And the hardest hole to do is always the middle, because that is the thickest part of the bucket. And just like that, you see this, you can really get through this pretty fast, even with taking the time. So I just knocked out 2 more holes. It's easy to get started and get set, but this is probably the most important step when it comes to having your home container garden or your bucket garden outside, is making sure you have the proper drainage holes. So this season, I'm going to walk you step by step through me planting these, but this is the first step. Guys, stay tuned. I have plenty to come in the future. I'm Eric Lee. You're watching Savage Garden. I hope you enjoy. Later.